So this is my MIDI sequencer, the RN-9090, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of the features and an explanation of what it can do. There are three major components to the RN-9090. There is a knob here that you use to control the speed of the sequencer, and I have a screen here which is a 128 by 64 pixel display that I've set up to display information like what the tempo is and what page you are currently looking at, what page is currently being played, and you can use it to interact with the different menus that I've set up here. I have a MIDI menu where you can change the MIDI channel assignment, or you can look at what the MIDI notes assignments are. I have a save menu where you can save drum patterns, and I have a load menu where you can load drum patterns. And I have a 12 by 16 button grid here, and each one of these squares is a button which has a LED light inside of it, and when you press the button the light turns on or it turns off. And each row is a specific MIDI note number. In Ableton, that would be connected to a drum kit, and each drum kit's going to have a simpler where you can drop a wave file in it, and it can be literally anything. You can also hook it up to synths, and each MIDI note number for each row also corresponds to a specific musical note value, and in that way you can play pretty much anything, whether it be waves or synths, or you can use it with the TR-9090 clone, and each row will be assigned to a specific voice on the 909 clone. So each row is assigned to a specific sound, and there's 16 steps per row, and as this 12th row here goes, the counter goes across. If the light is on, then the MIDI sequencer will send the MIDI note on instruction to either the synth or to Ableton or to the drum machine or whatever it is. I've also built in certain control buttons and features that you use to play music. This side is the side that you use to interact with the screen, whether it be the MIDI menu, the save menu, or the load menu, and this is the side that you use primarily to play music. And going across, I have pop, which is a populate function, which allows you to build out your pages very quickly without having to re-push a lot of buttons. Clear will clear your page, whatever you're looking at. Play will play the sequencer. Stop stops the sequencer. Play plays it again. Link is part of the pages feature. So the pages feature, there's two pages on the sequencer. There's page 1 and page 2. And you can link page 1 and page 2 together to make a 32-step sequence. And you can swap the pages, and what swap will do is if you are working in a page, then you can swap it to that page or to the next page, and it'll start playing the notes from the opposite page that you're playing on. So if you're playing the notes from page 1 and you swap it to page 2, then it'll swap to page 2 and it'll start playing whatever is on page 2. The 1 and the 2 here, this allows you to just move back and forth between the pages without having to worry about the different notes that are being played, and allows you to work in between the different pages without affecting the music. So if you look at the screen here, I don't know if you can see it, but this big one here says that we are looking at page 1, and over here under view I have a 1 and a 2. The 1 is highlighted, which means that we're playing the notes from page 1. So we're looking at page 1, we're playing the notes from page 1. So I can do anything, I can do something here, and it's happening in real time because we're looking at page 1. So I can go to page 2 and there's nothing on page 2. So instead of having to, or I can go back to page 1, so page 2, page 1, page 2, page 1, so I can clear it, and I will just do something real easy here on page 1, and I can go to page 2. So I want to take what's on page 1 and add another layer to it, so I can use the populate function, and populate automatically builds that out, and I can make whatever changes that I want to it because I'm working in page 2 and we're playing page 1. So I've added this extra layer here, and I'll swap it, and now we're playing an extra little layer. And the cool thing about the swap is that The swap only happens at the end of the loop here, so it creates a very seamless flow to the music, and you're able to move back and forth between the different pages and not have to worry about interrupting the music that's being played, and it allows you to have a very stress-free workflow. So I'm looking at page 2, and I'll go back to page 1, and I need to update page 1, so I'll use the populate feature, and now I can add another layer and not have to worry about, you know, whatever I'm doing here being interrupted as the counter goes across and it picking up something. For example, here's 2, and I'll, you know, see I'm trying to do this, and you know, it just doesn't sound right. So well, now I finally got it, but it doesn't really work. So I use the swap feature whenever I want to bring in a new layer. So I'll just swap it, and then it swaps the end of the loop, and you notice that the LEDs update. So I built this thing into it where whenever you swap, you're always going to be looking at the page that is currently being played. So if I'm on page 1 and I swap to page 2, it updates it all the time. So I can always just swap and add different layers and not have to worry about keeping track of what page I'm in. But I can always look at the screen if I need to know to go between 2 or 1 or back to 1 again if I want. And I can link it, and so now link doesn't update, the LEDs don't update on link. You still have to kind of cycle back and forth, and I can unlink it, and then I can swap it again. And so between the swap and the link, I think it allows you to have a pretty stress-free workflow, and also makes your music sound more uniform and clean, because when you're trying to add different sounds like this, you know, it doesn't quite sound right if you don't press all the buttons fast enough. And so this way you can just work in your alternate page and not have to worry about whatever happens if the counter goes across and you're not pressing the buttons fast enough. So that's kind of about it, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.